Hi friends. I thought today we could talk about what's next. We've gone through a pretty unsettling time for us and a pretty momentous time for us. This period of quarantine due to COVID-19 and it's ongoing. What's next is the question. And it's a question that I recently asked our 8th graders at the 8th grade Mass that we gathered to celebrate their graduating from St. Francis de Sales School. What's next? Now, of course, in the mind of an 8th grader, what's next after graduating 8th grade? Well, first of all, the summer, right? And the fun, the camping trips, the pool, the vacations, maybe sports and camps will start again, Catholic Youth Summer Camp, and so on. So maybe they were thinking along those lines, and that's fine. And we're all thinking that we have a good summer, that we're able to get out into nature and enjoy the company of one another a little bit more than we have been over these last couple of months. What's next? And maybe also they were thinking, well, what's next is high school, right? Well, what's next after that? I want to tell you a story. It's a story that I heard when I was in college at Ohio University studying business, and I was in a serious relationship with a girl, and I am at the weekend mass, and this young parish priest, he's in his 30s, he's a cool guy, he's just a wonderful thinker, a philosophical mind. He preaches this homily about what's next, and it really rocked my world. And he tells it in the context of a true story. The story goes like this. There are two brothers, blood brothers, brothers who grew up in the same family, and one's a priest and one has just graduated from law school. So the brother who's a priest says to the brother who just graduated from law school, let's go out to dinner. I want to celebrate you and your accomplishments. So they go out to a nice dinner and they have a wonderful dinner. They're close as brothers. And at some point during the conversation, the priest raises a glass and toasts his brother, and they take a drink. He puts the glass down and he says to his brother, okay, what's next? And the brother said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, you finished law school, so what's next? And the brother said, well, I'm going to start studying for the bar exam and hopefully pass the bar. Brother, who's a priest, says, you're going to do great. You are such a phenomenal student. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're going to pass that exam and you're going to do it in the first try. What's next after that? Well, I'll probably get a job. You'll definitely get a job. You're going to have so many offers. People are going to chase after you. You're going to have a great job. Okay, so what's next after that? Well, I'll probably, work to establish myself in the job, make a name for myself, take on different positions, rise up in the company, and maybe even move to a different company and a company after that, and until I, really find that place where I like and I can make a lot of money. Okay, all right. We got to make money, the priest says, and what's next after that? And the brother says, well, I'll meet a girl and we'll get married and settle down. Okay, yeah. That's the human thing, right? Find a partner. What about after that? What's next? Well, we're husband and wife, so we become mom and dad. We pray God we'll have some children. Yeah. Family, beautiful. You and I were raised by a family. Great. You're going to be a great husband and a great dad. What's after that? What's next? We'll raise our children. And I know you're going to do a great job of raising your children. What's next after that? Well, they'll move out of the house and they'll form families of their own. And maybe one day we'll have grandchildren and I'll retire and maybe take some time to travel with my wife and our families. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a great plan. What's next? And the brother said, well, I'll die someday. Hopefully after a long life. Yeah, that happens to us as humans. That's inevitable. What's next after that? And the brother hung his head low. And he looked up at his brother with tears in his eyes. And he says, I really don't know, brother. I don't know. I've been spending so much of my time working on my education and having fun and worrying about getting a job and just doing the everyday human stuff all the way back through high school and junior high with sports and so many things. I can't honestly sitting here say to you that I know what's next after death. And the brother said, he was a priest, leaned into his brother, and he loved his brother a great deal, and he said this, listen, here's my advice to you. This whole plan you put together, it's great. And I'll be praying that every part of it comes fulfilled. But as you're working on what's next in each one of those steps, maybe the way to do it is to keep your eye on what is the big what's next. Like what's next after you go through all those stages. Spend some time and some prayer and some thinking and get back to church and read the scriptures and a relationship with God who you're struggling with a belief in. It makes sense that you're struggling with a belief in Him. You haven't really been paying attention to Him. And this is not me waving my finger at you. This is me inviting you. Spend some time thinking about that next, what is next after all those other steps. And then what I think will happen is that vision of what you hope the next step is, which is heaven, that will inform everything that you do along the way. It will inform where you get your job at and how you'll be a businessman, a lawyer, what kind of lawyer you'll be. It will shape how you'll be with your friends and the way that you live your life. It will guide you on what type of woman to look for and who you want to be your wife and who you want to raise your children with you. It will help lead you and inspire you about what kind of man in the world you want to be and what you want to do with all the time that you have. And not just how you want to raise your children, but shape a family and the difference you want to make in this world. It will literally shape and form and guide and inspire and inform the person that you want to become. And along the way, you'll draw nearer and nearer to God, closer and closer to Him, your heart, your mind, your body, your soul. And He will give you freedom in this world and happiness in this world. And you'll grow in integrity and character. And you truly will become a phenomenal father and a husband and a friend and a man in this world that is going to make a true impact because you led with the last, what's next, and allowed that big what next to shape and inform every step along the way. And I'm telling you, my brother, that then God will help you, not just with each one of the stages and steps, but He'll also help you make that last final step into the what's next of heaven. And along the way, all those that you will come to know and love, You'll take them with you. And that won't be just for here and now. They'll be forever with you. And all the work that you do, and all the play that you have, and all the time you have will not be in vain. And just for you, it'll be for so many others. And your salvation and their salvation. What's next, my brother? What's next? It's a great conversation. And it's just a thought I want to leave with you today. What's next for your life? How do you want to live your life? And ultimately, do you know what's next for you in the life to come? Are you sure about that? And if you are you living for it? And every other what's next along the way? Until next time, friends.